It's Lily coming to you guys live from Las Vegas, Nevada.
And LindaRose coming to you from Maine.
We're so excited to be able to do this episode. This is actually something really new. We're doing a Q&A episode every month with questions you guys have been submitting in from the previous month of episodes. So we're super excited to get to answer some of these questions.
And some of these questions will also lead us into talking about some of our previous episodes and what we talked about this month.
Definitely. And me and LindaRose have both actually at the same time been doing studio redos.
Yeah, our studios are both of ours aren't done yet, but they'll be done hopefully by our next episode.
Definitely. I'm super excited to show my new setup to you guys. So, I'm really excited. We're going to try to get to, as we had a lot of questions, so we're going to try to get to most of the pre-asked ones. And I would hope to be able to do some live questions, but if not, we'll just get to as many as possible, and then we'll put the ones we weren't able to get to in the next Q&A episode next month.
Definitely. So, one of our first questions that we're going to start with today is if you could get advice from one woman, who would it be and what would you ask them?
Ooh, that's a hard one. Do you want to go first, LindaRose, or do you want me to?
Sure. I would probably ask Dolly Parton. Dolly Parton had a lot of uh, parent parental issues, and her dad specifically wasn't the best person, and as well as her stepdad. And she navigated music through that. She also wrote about it, and I'd love to ask her how she did that.
Definitely so true. Her music is also like so beautiful. So I'd like to ask her some different questions about like how she went about writing her songs and stuff. That would be amazing. I would ask Taylor Swift, and I would ask her like who inspired and what inspired her new albums and like how she wrote them, because they're just so beautiful and like they're just so folkish and they're so different from a lot of her other albums. And they were one of the albums that like inspired me to write the folkish style of music that I usually write.
100%.
Yeah. So that was a great question though, and it was so fun to get to answer that one. So the next one we had gotten was, who are the women that inspired you? Do you want to go answer that one first, Linda?
Sure. So actually, on our intro, if you watch, we both picked two women that inspired us. The two I picked was Dolly Parton and Adele. They really inspired me, along with Megan Fox, especially her role in Transformers. Really, shouted to my brain. I guess I don't really know how to explain it, but those are probably my three main ones.
Yeah, it's hard for me to list all the women who inspired me because I mean, there's like celebrity women who inspired me, and there's women in my personal life who inspire me, and connections I've made on Facebook and on through my like music that of people who inspire me. So I'm just gonna list a few. Some of my inspirations, I talked about them in the first episode a little bit, was Jennifer Thomas and of course Billie Eilish. They were my like piano and vocal inspirations that really got me wanting to like start playing. But a few of my other inspirations, I mean, are Taylor Swift. I was talking about her earlier, Ruel, and actually, Adele also inspires me.
Yeah. Another one of my inspirations I want to talk about for a second is my grandmother, Emma Farwell. Some of you may know her. She's played a huge part in my life, and she helped me with my room setup. She's helped me with a lot, and she's definitely another one of my inspirations for me.
Definitely, a woman in personal life was really big inspiration. I know that my mom is one of my main inspirations because I mean, like she keeps on, like she encourages me to keep on going, especially like when I'm like I don't know if I can do this. So she's definitely one of my like personal inspirations.
Yeah, this question is definitely a great question, and I'm really happy that we've gotten to answer it. And leading on to the next question is, could you do interviews with women in sports?
Um, Actually, next month, we're hoping to focus a few episodes on women in sports, and we have a few really cool interviews lined up that I'm so excited, and we're going to be recording them soon, which is just, I'm so excited for that.
Yeah, me too. Sports plays a huge part of my life. I play a few sports and I love them, so I'm super excited to do some of those episodes. And the
Def-
interviews we have are amazing.
Yes, they're like I'm so excited. They're going like so great people to be able to interview. And if any of you guys are like are athletes and stuff, if you guys could send in videos for because we're hoping to do an athletic talent montage. So it'd be amazing if you guys could send in your videos just to Facebook Messenger or email or like DM us on Instagram.
Yeah,
Anywhere is
if
fine.
you, yeah, if you also follow our Orchid Times page, you can send it through there as well.
Definitely. So send us your videos because we would love to be able to play them.
Absolutely.
Another one of the questions we had, which is a really great one, is what does it feel like to have other women support you?
It feels amazing when other women like kind of want to have this change that we want and kind of are shooting for the same thing that we're shooting for. It's an amazing feeling to know that women feel the same way about movement and how sad it is. It feels amazing to have other women support us.
Definitely, I agree. It feels so amazing when you have other women being supportive with you. I have so many amazing connections with strong women in my life, and I value those connections so much. I think it's just really important that women support each other and uplift each other because, like, in the industry, it's hard to make it in whatever like career paths, athletics, sports, any of those. It's really hard. So it's important that women stick together and uplift each other. So it just feels amazing when other women support me, and it inspires me so much.
Yeah, it's a lot easier too, in my opinion. It's a lot easier to make it in the industry when there's other women backing you up because it's harder to make in the industry because a lot of men won't back women up, and it's important that women back each other up, even if it's
Yeah, definitely. Because the industry sometimes puts women against each other, and that's just not how it should be. So we just need to stick together.
yeah.
And
Leading up to the
leading up, like the next question we had is, how's it feel when another woman lets you down?
it feels not good. It's angering because you're especially it hasn't happened to me yet, but or it has happened to me in personal life, but it hasn't happened to me with the show yet, and I'm really grateful for that. But I think with the show and what we're working for, I think when another woman just tells you something you don't want to hear, kind of breaks down your confidence with the show. It's hurtful because you're trying to help them get
Yeah.
farther in the industry, and I think it just to me it just doesn't really make sense. And I tried to push it away, but it hits more harder when it's another woman, and especially when you're working for them.
Definitely. It feels disappointing because like you relied on this other person and then they let you down, and it just makes you feel really sad because women are it's in this industry where it's hard to make it. They just need to stick together. So it makes it disappointing when other women let you down. But the main thing to remember is that it was only one person, and you continue to help others and continue to let others help you. I actually experienced this before, and I wrote a song about women being there for other women, which is actually the theme song on Orchid Times in our trailer. Society, again, we touched on it before, puts women against each other, and my Links in the Chain song says that we won't overcome the unjust unless we don't let society put us against each other and work together.
Yeah, I think it's hard when your social life or something tries to turn you against someone you really care about, or another girl you care about, or another woman you care about. And I think that you have to push through that because it's the only way it's gonna work. Because there's always
Definitely.
gonna be those people there. And to our next
Yeah.
question, how do we suggest a young female artist to be on the show?
Yeah, you guys can private message us on like Facebook Messenger, send us an email. Our email is orchidtimesshow@gmail.com in case anybody didn't know. And you guys can also DM us on Instagram or even comment on a post would be great too. And we can go like after we research the artists and some, we'll reach out to them and see if they'd be interested in doing something.
Yeah, also, we have no issue. We can plan it, we can schedule it, a meeting with you if you want to talk to us personally, to both of us at the same time personally, about a certain person. You can totally do that.
Definitely, and we're always open to any suggestions because we just want to make sure that this is a community where people are able like to let us know, "Hey, I want to see more of this," or "Hey, I want to see more of this," and we can set it up for them because this is a show for you guys, and we want to make sure we're covering stuff that you guys want to hear.
Yeah, 100%. I think that it was a great question, and it definitely. So yeah, you can just reach us anywhere, and again, we can do meetings if you want to. We have no issue doing it.
Yeah, definitely. Another question we've gotten, which is a really good one, is how much time do you spend planning and preparing for the show?
Well, I know to get the show started, it took a lot of planning, and me and Lily stuffed it into like 2 days, and we did a lot of planning. But for me, before our live episodes or before our interviews, I usually take or I try to take about 30 minutes to an hour. To kind of usually 30 minutes of that hour is me calming down and kind of taking like a kind of meditation break so that I can get in so that if I've had any negatives in that day, I can get in focus. And then I spend most of the other times getting ready and setting up my area.
Definitely. Me and my sister, it's like a preparation thing we do before these type of things because I get nervous sometimes. So we do like a little meditation thing and like she has like incense and she lights it for me and it's super nice of her to do that. I know like sometimes I would say sometimes a day I spend like 3 hours reaching out to people, messaging people and doing all of that stuff behind the scenes. And then I spend even more time on a weekend or whenever I'm off of school, but I love it so much and it's so rewarding and it's just such a great experience just to be able to do all this.
Yeah, I enjoy. I mean, the show is great. I think we're doing great on it, and I'm very happy that we have this opportunity.
Definitely. So this next like little like segment in a Q&A thing, I guess we could call it, is we made a post on our Facebook page asking because we wanted to do a get to know us segment. And we asked people for their questions that they had and what they would like to hear us talk about. So, and we got a lot of responses on that. So I'm really excited to get to go through and answer a few of these questions.
Yeah, me too. So I think not a lot of people, our followers, know a lot about us, so it gives us a good segment to get us to know each other.
Yeah, and we're going to try to get to, I hope to get to some live comments too. So if you guys want to hear anything, if you guys have a question or something that we haven't answered, put it in the chat. And after we're done with this, we can go ahead and answer you guys' live comments. So it'd be so fun.
100%.
So this first question I got was from Renee. And the first one was, Lily, what is your favorite food? So that's hard for me just to pick one because but I mean, I guess I would say like I love teriyaki, I love Kahlua pig and pizza, and that's just a few. If I listed all my favorite foods, it would be really long. But that's just my few favorites.
Yeah, a question this was asked by Alana is Lily and LindaRose, what are your hobbies outside of music?
Um, well, my hobby outside of music, my main hobby is that I love to read. Reading is like my number one favorite thing to do. Like when I'm like, if it's a really good book and I love it, I can read up to 2 novels a week, actually. I have a lot of favorite books, but, like, some of my favorite classics are Little Women, Anne of Green Gable, and, Heidi, and me and Linda Rose actually share, a love for Greek mythology.
Yes, Greek mythology is so amazing and so underrated. Greek mythology is amazing. And some of my hobbies, outside of reading, which is something me and Lily share in common as well, I write and I play a lot of sports. I go to the courts a lot with my best friend Haley. I do a lot of sports. I write a lot, which is my poetry I've been working on, and I hope to release some of that soon. I write songs also. And I'm currently learning a few instruments. So,
Yeah, that's so fun, I actually have, like, a few instruments I'm wanting to start learning, so that's exciting. I mean, I play the acoustic guitar, but I wanna start learning the electric guitar, and I wanna start learning the harp guitar, which is like a bass attached to a guitar. I mean, I find, like, these weird instruments and decide to learn them, so I for a while, I was playing the kalimba, which is like a finger piano, so
yeah, think I've seen one of those on a few Netflix shows. They're really cool instruments, and I know they can be really hard to play. So
Oh, they like it's like because it's like metal tongs you have to press on the instrument, so they can be kind of difficult to play sometimes. Our other question we got in was from Bob Ross, and he had said, Lily and Linda Rose, beyond this amazing show you are creating, what else would you like to do in your life?
well, thank you so much, Bob Ross, for saying
Thank
how amazing our show is. It means a lot to us. So I actually want to go to college for FBI profiling. I've been into it for a really long time. It's kind of my dream job, and if that doesn't work out, I'd love to be a psychiatric nurse.
That's amazing. My hopes are to get my music sync licensed and heard on TV. I know, like, before, like, a few episodes back, we interviewed Kendra Dantes, and she's actually the one who inspired me to start looking into getting my music sync license. So I'm looking into it, and I'm producing an EP right now, and I hope to be able to get the steps done and get started with sync licensing really soon.
Angela, going on to our next question. Angela asks, Lily and Linda Rose, if you could interview someone really famous, who would you choose and why?
That is a really hard one because there would be so many people. Like, all of my inspirations I would want to interview, but I'd say if I had to pick like one, I would choose Billie Eilish because, first of all, she's just an amazing singer and she comes up with the most beautiful melodies and songs, and they all are just so interesting. So it is really like inspiring how somebody can come up with those amazing melodies. So, like, I would love to hear her answers to some of my questions that I would ask her too. So that would just be amazing.
I'd probably choose to interview. It's hard, but I'd probably choose Megan Fox because she's had a few bumps in her acting career and she got through them really well. She also plays major women empowering parts in a few movies, and I'd love to know the process of doing that. And I know, she was not getting treated right behind the scenes of a movie that was being filmed, and she decided not to do that role anymore because she didn't feel like she was being treated equally. And I'd love to know how she got the courage to do that.
Definitely. I mean, I've seen her in a few different movies and she's just amazing.
Yeah, I really enjoy her movies a lot.
Yeah. So, do you want to go ahead and go on to the other question?
Yeah, Renee asked Linda Rose, "What's your favorite TV show?" I have a few. Like, actually, that's not true. I have a lot. um, but right now, I've been watching Gilmore Girls, which I love. But I'd say my favorite TV show that I've already watched and everything would probably be The Vampire Diaries. I love that show so much, and I rewatch it all the time, or I'll go to like my favorite episodes. I love that show. It's definitely on my favorites list.
Definitely. I just finished like actually like a few weeks ago I finished watching Gilmore Girls and I was so sad when it ended because I love that show. And Vampire Diaries is one that I really want to watch and it's definitely on my watch list and I'm glad
Yeah,
to hear
it's
that it's really good.
there's three main women characters, and they play such a huge part, and they are great like women empowerment characters, and I really enjoy that show a lot.
Wow, yeah, I definitely will have to watch that sometime. So our next question we had was from Sarah, and she said, Lily and Linda Rose, what do you want to do when you grow up aside from music?
Like I said earlier, FBI profiling agent or a psychiatric nurse is kind of in my realm of what I want to do. I wouldn't mind being a writer either, but that's just kind of where I want to head right now.
It's hard to imagine myself doing anything other than music, but I mean, I do love to do my makeup in the free time, so it wouldn't be a bad second choice. I mean, if I had to pick a different one, I would say a beautician. So, our other question we got in was Lily and Linda Rose, what is your favorite part of your show?
Honestly, probably the interviews. Getting to interview these amazing people is so it's like an kind of like an honor just to get to interview these amazing people. But another one of my favorite parts is the amount of support we have and the amount of people that have supported us already. I I just think it's really I'm really grateful for it, and I'm very happy that we got this opportunity.
Definitely. The same thing with me. My favorite part of the show is doing the interviews. It's just some of these people, they just have so much great knowledge and insight and advice to everybody. And I mean, it's amazing to hear their answers to questions and to hear their answers to questions that I've had for a while. And I've loved getting to hear their advice and stuff. And I know I've taken some of this advice too and put it towards my stuff. And it's just so helpful and so amazing.
Sandy asks, Lilly and LindaRose, how do you deal with other teens who tease you for what you do for doing what you love?
That's kind of a difficult one. I mean, I've always strived to stand out from the crowd. So, like, any judgment I've ever gotten for like being different doesn't really make me feel bad. It kind of instead like validates what I strive for. Like, they acknowledge that I'm different. So,
Yeah, I mean, for me, it's hard since I go to public school and dealing with that, it's hard. But really, it kind of makes me want to do it more because knowing that some people for on my odd twisted mind way in here, it for some reason when other people tell me that it's impossible or it makes me want to show them that it's possible and that I can do it and it makes me want to prove them wrong and it really just makes me want to do what I do more.
definitely. And it's important to prove them wrong too because their message may have get to other people. And it's important, like, that we're able to show people that it's possible to do and there's no reason that you can't do it.
Yeah, I think the main thing for me to do is I know at school I try to focus on my schoolwork more than trying to more what they want is a reaction out of me. And if I don't give them that, they're eventually just not gonna do it anymore. So I try to do it even though it's hard sometimes. I have to power through it.
Definitely. So the next question we have is, Lily, do you like a guacamole? And this is a question from Jay. So that's a great question. No, I do not like guacamole. I actually hate guacamole, but I love avocados, but I hate to eat avocados. So avocados are like my favorite food item. It's really weird. I hate avocados, but I love everything avocado. Like on my desk right here, I have everything avocado. Like, look, there's this. And then my mom painted me this avocado rock.
Me personally, I love guacamole. I love avocado toast. I love everything about avocados. I make my own guacamole, so. But I guacamole is weird because I feel like if you don't use it the right way, it's absolutely disgusting. And I can agree with someone on that because if you don't make it or use it the right way, it does not taste good.
Like a few weeks ago, I tried something called avocado ranch, and it was not good.
See, that does not sound appealing to me. This does not sound good at all.
It was not.
No. Our next question was towards me is Amber asked Linda Rose, I was amazed by your public speaking skills during your recent live. Have you taken any classes or done any training that has helped you get as good as you are? For me personally, I've done a lot of mental training for myself. I've dealt with mental health in the past. I've dealt with some stuff that has made me had to grow up quicker mentally and having at such a young age having to be a grown up and being more mature than I should have to be kind of helped me with my speaking. Also, taking my mental breaks. I don't try to push myself. If I know I can't do something or I know if it's going to push my brain too far, I won't do it because I need to space myself out. I need to take things slow sometimes, and I try to realize that for myself. And even though it's hard, I try to do it, and I think that's what got me to where I am with my speaking.
Definitely. I mean, I dealt with some of the same stuff like earlier on in this year, and it can be difficult, but I mean, you can get through it.
Yeah, it's hard, and I think for me. It's not really getting speech. For me, it's getting more of my mental because I know if I'm not in a good mental health area, my speech is not good. So I know if I need my speech to be good, and if I need to be better with my speech, it's probably because I need to work on my mental health a little bit.
Definitely, and I mean, there's sometimes, I mean, I had it like it's the same stuff with sometimes with some of my music and going live. I know I took like a short little break going live because I mean, stuff wasn't going great for me, but I'm back on now and doing great.
Yeah.
So this next little part wanted to do, we're going to do, like go back. So on our page we are posting polls and asking people what would they most like to hear. So we wanted to go ahead and answer some of the poll questions that people said they would be most interested in hearing. So this first question we got was, what is the most rewarding part about doing the show?
We answered a question much like this earlier too, so I don't want to go over it too much. But again, probably the comments and the amount of support we have. I mean, it's so much easier to be confident in doing a show like this when you have support from other people.
Oh, definitely. For me, I mean, the most rewarding part about doing the show for me is getting the chance to be able to inspire others. It means so much, and I love that I'm given the opportunity to do this because I mean, I know that when I first started out trying to make my way in the music industry, a show like this would have been so helpful, and I'm just glad that I'm able to do the same thing for other people to inspire them.
Yeah, I think for me, the most rewarding part is having people like the show. Because I would have never thought that people would have liked the show as much as they do. And for me, it makes me really happy that people do enjoy the show.
It's just so inspiring.
Yeah. Um, what are what issues do we feel most strongly about with equal female representation?
Um, I mean, there's a lot of issues that I feel very strongly about, so it's hard to like pick just a few, but I know one of the main ones that I feel strongly about is females getting the same representation for their talents and skills and not being looked down upon because I mean, they females arts, music, whatever needs to be valued and have the same respect as anybody else's, and it just doesn't make sense that they don't already.
Yeah, I think that I feel most strongly about the fact that women aren't equally represented as males are. I think that there's no difference between a male and a female's artwork. I think that, like, take artwork for example, because that's what I'm leading into. I think that if you're in a museum, males and females should be equally represented because female artwork can be just as good as male artwork, and there's no reason that they can't be equally represented in a museum.
Definitely. So I think we're going to go ahead and close out with one last question. And the one that we had was, what are our hopes and aspirations for the show in the future?
One of my hopes and aspirations, one of my hopes for it, is that we get where I already am actually, is just that we hope to get bigger, even though we're already pretty big. We want to get bigger. We want to get our show out there and hopefully show some of the people that maybe run the museum or own a museum that it's you can equally represent them. There's no reason why you can't. I think that our show can make a big difference, and I really want it to grow bigger so that it can make that difference.
Definitely. My hopes are around the same. My hope is for the show to keep on growing so we can reach more people. We really want to create a community in which we make sure that we're covering the topics you guys want to hear. And we're focusing on topics about empowering females in the areas that you guys would like to hear it about. If you guys would like to be a part of helping the growth, we are accepting sponsorship as well as me and Linda have wish lists of stuff to help us continue to grow and help achieve our goals.
Yeah, and if you do want to sponsor us, we prefer that you go to our producer and manager, Renee. We prefer that you go to her. If you do go to us, and you don't know her Facebook or anything, we can forward you to her.
Definitely. This has been such an amazing Q&A, and it was just so great to be able to answer some of you guys' questions. We didn't get to all of them, but we'll make sure that we put in any questions that were in the chat. We'll make sure we put it on our next Q&A next month.
Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you all have a beautiful day or night wherever you are. Bye.
Definitely. Bye.